Timer's going. Hello everyone, how are you today? We're back with another episode of the GD1A Sports Podcast. Happy to be here. We appreciate everybody that has continued to follow us through this little journey, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, we're slowly growing, that's for sure.
We are. A lot of you tuned in to the last episode where we had our guest AJ Van Dyke from Wayne on. That one's been a pretty popular episode. I actually got a few messages on the side saying that it was a really good idea to have her on there, and that was a lot of fun too, talking to her, getting to know her just a little bit, you know. So,
oh yeah, she's just phenomenal. So.
And it sounded like as long as the schedule allows, obviously we don't want to interfere, but if we get down to state and get a couple minutes to chat with her, it sounds like she's good for that too. So with that being said, we're going to start today in Wayne County. Hope it's okay to say this. It's on social media, so it must be out there, but they are going through a tough time right now with the loss of Coach Southwick. So we just want to let the people of Wayne know that our thoughts are with them. That's a tough thing to deal with.
Yeah, it's never easy to lose someone that, you know, everyone's, you know, looked up to and been involved with. So,
and I didn't know him, but Brett, Uncle Brett, me and him were actually talking last week ago. Our younger boys had a game, and he was saying how he remembers Southwick when Brett played. So that would have been in 97-ish. I think Brett was a senior in 98. But he was saying how he was a really good coach, and like I said, this was a week ago. It just for some reason got brought up, and he was saying that how he had been helping with the boys program again. I don't know if it was just this year or last year, whatever. Yeah, with that being said, the people of Wayne County, we feel for you, and you're in our thoughts for sure, and we wish you the comfort that you need to get through this tough time, because like Dally said, that's always tough to lose somebody that's close, that's involved with your programs. And it sounds to me like all the kids were very familiar with him, and he was really good with all of them too. So while we're on the subject of Wayne, AJ Van Dyke has hit her 1,000-point mark in her career.
Yeah, it looked like she finally hit it when they played Bryce Valley, and you know, for her to do that in her junior year, that's just impressive once again. So.
It is, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how far she goes, because if she's hit it in her junior year, there's a good chance that she'll end up in the record books for career points. I don't know what the record books are. Let me silence that. Our informant of Rich County is messaging me there, so sorry about that little ding. But anyway, yeah, that's very impressive to do that as a junior, and I'm looking forward to the future to see just how far she pushes that. So yeah. Next on the list, we have another 1,000-point career achievement. Ridge Lundgren from Rich High School got his against Manila.
Yeah, it was against Manila.
And so congratulations to both of you two players. That's an amazing accomplishment. Not a lot of kids do that, but this year we have had a few kids do that.
Yeah.
I know there's another player. I'm not going to put the name out right now, but if he gets there, we will absolutely mention it. But I know there's at least one more in 1A right now that's pretty close to it. So we'll keep an eye on that, and if it gets to that point, we'll definitely bring it up. So, yeah, congratulations to both of you two, and we wish you, the best of luck for the rest of the season for Ridge and for AJ this season and next. So, the next subject that we thought we better talk about right now is Tabiona cheerleaders had the state competition for competitive cheer. And they brought home the 1A state championship in the all-girls. They competed against Rich High School and Monticello High School. And, they ended up bringing that championship trophy home, so that's really cool for those girls. I was talking to Caitlin about it, my wife, and I told her, for some people, cheerleading is just kind of like, whatever. Yeah. But those girls put in a lot of time.
Oh, they're ton of time. I mean, dancing I know I can never do it. It really does take a lot of time to learn how to control your body, and really you got to be in shape to do that type of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So. I mean, they're lifting girls up, tossing them. They're doing all their flips and their back handsprings and everything else, and it was really exciting to see those girls achieve what they've been working for all year, and some of the girls on the cheerleading squad also play basketball, but the ones that don't, they're just cheerleaders. That championship is just as important to them as it is for these girls or boys on the basketball team. So
yeah, and I know Reagan Bateman, she won
the jump off.
The jump off. I think that was 2 years in a row.
Yeah, second year in a row she won that one too.
I mean, it goes to show you how just good she is.
And athletic. They're all people don't think there's athleticism in cheerleading, but there is. Like you said, there's a lot that goes into it. So so congratulations to the Tabiona cheerleaders for being state champions in that. In the 2A, we're going to mention this because it is a school right here close to us, Duchesne. They won the state championship in co-ed in competitive cheerleading.
And then I think Panguitch won the championship in co-ed as well.
Yes, we better mention that too. Yep, Panguitch High School, the co-ed, co-ed 1A state championship. So there's your winners of the cheerleading championships, and I'm sure they all loved every minute of it, so.
Like I said, it don't matter what championship you're going after. It takes a lot of time, a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears. It doesn't matter what it is to get that gold trophy. It takes a lot of hard work. Congratulations to the Tigers and the Bobcats, and also, our neighbors, the Duchesne Eagles.
Well, and like I was telling my wife too, kind of what you just said, a championship's a championship. If you can win, it doesn't matter what it's in. That's an awesome accomplishment. Okay, well, we'll move on with our regular
we got the rankings here for the boys on Des News. The Wayne Badgers are still sitting at number 1 with a 12-4 record. And they had a good game against Panguitch, but they ended up losing a game to Valley, which looked like a really good game, which we'll get into them in a little bit. And then at number 2, the Rich Rebels, they've climbed their ranks, man, just like how we kind of expected. They're sitting at 10-4 right now. And then at 3rd, the Manila Mustangs, they're at 14-2. The Panguitch Bobcats, they're at number 4 at 11-8, and then the Paiute Thunderbirds, like I said, they're really playing really good right now. They're sitting at 11-4, so.
And I don't know if you said this, but this is boys, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That is your boys' side. On your girls' side, the Tabiona Tigers, they're still ranked number 1 with a 15-0 record. The Wayne Badgers is still sitting at number 2 at a 12-2 record, and number 3, the Rich Rebels. Like I said, they've climbed their ranks again, even on the girls' side. They're sitting at a 10-4, and the Panguitch Bobcats at 12-4, and sitting at 5th. The Valley Buffaloes at 9-3. So that's your Des News ranking. On the actual RPI for the boys, Wayne's at number 1. The Rebels are at number 2. The Mustangs at number 3. The Thunderbirds at number 4. The Panguitch Bobcats at number 5. Rice Valley at 6. Green River 7. Tabiona 8. Valley at 9. And Tinnick at 10. That's your RPI ranking for the boys. On the girls' side, Tabiona's still sitting at number 1. Wayne at number 2. Panguitch at number 3. Valley number 4, the Rebels at 5, Whitehorse 6, Paiute 7, Monument Valley at 8, Milford at 9, and Wendover at 10. So yeah, I mean, looking at the rankings there, like we figured though, the Rich Rebels, they're just, like I said, they're moving right up the rankings. And we know there's a lot of region games. We're really looking forward to watching Rich come to Tabby. So.
Yeah, we've got them coming here this week. It'll be this Thursday, I believe.
I haven't looked at the schedule quite yet on that, but I know
it's either Thursday or Friday, but I think it's Thursday. I'll tell you right here.
They're a team that we haven't really been able to watch any of the games because
They haven't had anybody broadcasting this year, so we haven't been able to keep tabs on them. But as we mentioned before, and thank you, Bradley, up there, and Rich has kind of been helping us stay on top of things. It looks like Rich plays Big Piney on Thursday, so they must come here. Yeah, so it's Friday. Rich, boys and girls, will come down here.
So anyways, that's your rankings there. I got some games pulled up here. So I wanted to talk about the Valley Wayne boys game that was played this last Wednesday, and Valley ended up getting them. I didn't put the score on here. I think it was by 3.
You said it was Wednesday?
Yeah. I believe they got him by 3, and looking at the stats, House, he had a phenomenal game. 25 points, 3 3-pointers, he just played ball.
Mm-hmm.
Chamberlain, he also just came in really strong with 16 points, 2 3-pointers. And then you had H. Harris, had 10 points, and P. Harris, he had 8 points with 1 3. So, Valley you could tell, I'm sure you could tell, they were ready to play. They wanted to be the number 1 Wayne Badgers.
I was going to say, if Wayne coming in as the number 1, any team, if you have the number 1 team that you're about to play, you're the right mindset, which most of the time is you want to beat that team, because right now they're the best team out there. So It's a big statement game for Valley too. And
then for the Badgers, and Peterson just had an unbelievable game. 27 points with 6 3-pointers. Martinez 12 points with 1 3-pointer. Robbins with 11 points. Jackson with 3, and Brown with 3. So, and what don't surprise me, like I said, Valley likes to play that zone. So for Peterson to have 6 threes, that
mm-hmm.
going into the game they knew they had to shoot the ball pretty good against Valley. But Valley did end up getting them. I didn't watch the game. I really wish I would have, because that looked like a really good one.
Well, and you were right. It was 59-56, so they did get them by 3.
Yeah.
And that's, while we're on this, that was 2 of my top performers for the week, was House from Valley and Peterson from Wayne. And I got a few more stats that were on Max Prep that was not on Des News. House, all they had on there was the same, the 25 points with 3 threes. But for Peterson, along with his 27 points, he had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. So a pretty solid game across the board for Peterson. And I think, I didn't write any of the other ones down either, but a couple of their players had, some pretty good games as well. So Martinez, did you cover Martinez?
I think I just said his points.
With 12 points?
Yep.
And he had 5 rebounds, 4 steals.
So he was a little low on his rebounding end, because he's usually averaging that double-double.
And then Hunter Robbins, which he's usually up there in the rebounds as well. He only had 6. But that's, and I don't want to say only. He had 6 rebounds, but a little short of, I think, what he usually gets to go with his 11 points. And he also had 3 blocks. A couple assists and and a steal. But yeah, that was, I just wanted to hit that because I've got my top performers and I don't want to say them twice. So I figured I was already here. We covered that. So.
And then the other boys game I looked into, and I actually watched this game, was Wayne at Penguin, and that was a good game. You want to talk about...
Did you say that was boys, Wayne at Penguin?
Yeah.
What day was that?
The 23rd. But this game, there was a lot of offensive rebounds. I mean, you want to talk about the battle of the bigs. It was Verga and Robbins just going at each other. Verga, I know he got into a little bit of a foul trouble in kind of that first half, but in the second half, man, he was just playing so good, just so well. But yeah, Wayne ended up beating him. It was tied. It was tied at half, and then in the third quarter, with 21 points, his scoring just throughout the game was just, I mean, it was just awesome. And then Peterson, like I said, it wasn't a slow night. He came in with 14 points, and like I said, Verga for Penguin just 17 points. Ingolstead, he hit 2 3-pointers, and he scored 11. But yeah, I mean, Robbins 21, Peterson 14, Brown with 7, Martinez with 5, Jackson with 1, Hollows with 1, and Verga had 17, Ingolstadt 11. Verga also, he had 9 rebounds, but like I said, I think he would have got more, but he was in a little bit of foul trouble.
Well, and in their next game, or it might have been before that, because I've got him in my top performers against Milford.
Yeah, and then Ramsey had 7, Barney with 3, Anderson with 3, and the rebounds, like I said, it was kind of everywhere.
Well, I show in that game Martinez led Wayne with rebounds, and that one with 11.
And on Des News they don't have rebounds, but if they have it in Max Preps,
and Peterson had 9, and Robert Robbins had 7, so they had the bulk of them. A couple other kids on Wayne had 2 apiece, but of the 31 rebounds, it was mainly those 3 players.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It came down to the last 2 minutes, and Wayne just hit some big shots, and they just pulled away and got that win at Panguitch. So that was a really fun game to watch. That's kind of all I had as far as the boys' side, besides Tabiona going to Manila.
Well, in that one, it says Verga had 9 rebounds in that game.
Yep, that's what
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we can jump to ours really quick, just because we know those games because we watched them. But was it Tuesday? Duchesne came to town, boys.
Yeah, and that it started out really good, but then the Tigers just kind of couldn't get shots go their way. They started turning the ball over in some tight situations, and the Eagles just, like I said, they took advantage of every turnover that the Tigers was giving them.
Well, and from one thing that I noticed watching the game is Duchesne they worked hard. They came up here with a chip on their shoulder after losing to Tabby in Duchesne a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, they came up here with a game plan, and they were going to execute it, and they didn't want to lose another one. Riker Corner had 17 points. Rhett Claiborne with 13, and he had 3 threes, but if you remember, 2 of those in the fourth quarter, big-time threes that really helped him open that lead up to kind of seal the deal for him. Yeah. And then Davies ended up with 11 points and a 3. Tucker Leffler had 9, and I'll tell you what, dude, Tucker Leffler's a tank.
Yeah.
He's not only is he a big kid, but he's quick on his feet. I mean, he's impressive for as big as he is, because a lot of times when you have somebody that big, they might be good and dominant, but they're usually not quick.
Yeah.
But he's kind of got both. I mean, I'm not saying that he might win a foot race out of anybody on the floor, but for a big man of his size, he's pretty quick, and he's strong. You can't, if he gets position and he gets the ball, there's not a lot
there
you
was
can
times
do.
where the Tigers were going down trying to strip it out of his hands, but I mean, he's just so strong. If he got it down low, he was finishing.
He's the type that if you grab onto the ball, he's probably going to pick you up with the ball. You're not taking it away from him.
Right. Yeah, and then looking at the Tiger end, Olson, he had 8 points. Thomas had 11. Rhodes with 13. And Giles had 9. So
are you looking at Des News?
I'm looking at Max Preps.
Because I got Des News open, and they put Brexton Rhodes for 13, so they got him and Rocky mixed up. Brexton's just a freshman.
Yeah.
So they got the names mixed up somehow. But
yeah, that was Rocky that had 13 in that game. But like I said, it kind of came down to the turnovers, and like I said, the Eagles, they just kind of ran with it and ended up beating the Tigers 55-41. So.
Well, and they didn't really get any help. I don't want to say help offensively from Sam Grell. He usually hits a 3 or 2, and as far as this shows, he didn't even score that night. So pretty rough night for him. But like I said, Duchesne came to play. They came here with a purpose, and they stuck to their game plan, and they played really well. So we'll skip ahead while we're on our school here to Saturday. Last night, the boys and girls both traveled to Manila. I watched those games here at home.
Yeah, and I was unable to watch them, but my wife ended up getting us tickets to go watch Salt Lake's professional volleyball team, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but I will tell you this: if anyone goes and watches that professional volleyball team, it is impressive. I mean, them girls are just unreal. Because you're watching the best of the best.
Yeah. Well, I personally, when you told me that's where you were going, I thought, man, that actually sounds pretty cool.
So I didn't get to watch the Manila games. I was watching some awesome volleyball, and like I said, if anyone has the opportunity to go watch them games, go. It is very impressive.
Well, and I'm gonna have to get after Shantea. Because as of right now, there's no stats on the girls in Manila, so I'm not sure how that turned out. But
I believe the Tigers won by 10.
They did. I have the score here. They won 50-40, so they did get them by 10. You know, and watching the game, I thought Manila played hard. Cassie Wall for them, who's their leading scorer, she played pretty good. She had some, I want to say, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing 3 or 4 threes. It seemed like it anyway. Browning played well. But Tabby missed a bunch of layups. They'd go in stretches where they'd get up about 10 or so, and then Manila would make a run. They'd come back, make a game out of it. It'd be tight for a few minutes. Then they'd kind of pull ahead again, you know. But overall, I felt like it was a pretty good game. And we've said before, you know, Manila's girls are a pretty good team. So the boys, they played right after, and I felt like our boys just kind of started off slow again, it seemed like to me. Jackson was in early foul trouble. He had 4 fouls. I don't think it was the second quarter. I think it was early in the third. He had to sit for a bit, and then coach put him in earlier than what I thought he would, but he ended up just fine. He did foul out, but not till closer to the end of the game. But, you know, Rocky kind of struggled inside, didn't get a lot of shots to fall. That's what I was trying to find here to see if Coach Jones...
And I was looking earlier, and I don't think even there were stats on the boys' end either, unless they were in max prep.
Yeah, they're in max prep here. I've got them right here. Jackson Olsen had 12. Case had 17 with 8 rebounds, so a pretty good game from Case. Rocky had 12. And you know, he struggled. He only had 3 points, you know, and that's not really normal for Strand. But he just kind of couldn't get some shots to fall. A couple of them, I thought maybe he got around his man and got into the paint, and I feel like he could have kept going, but kind of stopped and shot a little fade back jumper and just couldn't get him to fall. Again, in that game, Sam wasn't able to score, so they didn't get, you know, the normal little bit of a boost from him. And then I don't think, Manila.
Is there anything on
Oh, this might
stats?
be girls. Sorry. I got to switch back real quick. Give me just 1 second. I forgot I went over to the girls. But they put theirs in max prep, so I'll bet it's on here. It's actually not. So
nothing in?
Nope, they haven't got those entered in yet, so we won't be able to cover that. But yeah, both girls got them another win. Boys lost. And like we said, they'll both play Rich here on Friday. I think that's the only game for both teams this next week. So we can go through the rest of the games that took place during the week. I have the boys open right now. So on Tuesday we had Grand County beat Green River 55-48. As we mentioned, Duchesne beat Tabby 55-41. Monticello got a win over Dove Creek 62-36. Delos beat USDB 43-33. San Juan beat Whitehorse 85-51. I don't know if I had, let's see, my top performers. Not on the boys' side in that one. On Wednesday, Mount Vernon got the win over Dugway 65-30. Ute beat Escalante 67-34. That might be, yep, so I did have one player on my top performers in that game for Paiute was Brody Montague. He had 21 points with 5 threes, so he played pretty good. I don't know, guess we can click on it real quick. For Escalante, sorry, I don't just, everybody says it different. Their leading scorer was Jackson Cottom. He had 17. He also had 9 rebounds, couple steals, and a couple blocks. He was the only one for the Mokies in double figures. The next one down was, oh boy, I'm sorry if I Frischnecht. I'm not sure how you say that, but he had 8 points, and then the rest just kind of handful here and there. But yeah, I did want to mention Brody Montague because that's a pretty good game, hitting 5 threes. Mm-hmm. And then we had Merritt Preparatory Academy beat Telos 75-36. Which beat Milford 64-37. That's another game where I had one of my top performers for the week, which was Trenton Verga. On here, he had 17 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, and 8 blocks.
Yeah, he had an insane game.
Two blocks away from a triple-double.
Right.
That's a really good game for one individual player. Tayson Ramsey, he added in 12 points. Kobe Bentley had 10. Ingolstadt had 9.
Yeah,
Taze Barney had 7. But yeah, rebounding, Verga led the team with 17, but Ingolstadt had 9, so he was a point and a rebound shy of a double-double.
Right.
So, pretty good game from the Bobcats all around. And then next on the list, Water Canyon lost to Bryce Valley 86-44. That one I put for my top performers. I just kind of put all of Bryce Valley because that one must be here on Max Prep. They had several players score in that game.
And what day was that?
Well, trying to multi-screen here, guys, so just work with me. Panguitch and Milford right there. Oh, no, sorry, we moved on from Panguitch. We're on Bryce Valley, aren't we?
Yeah.
Bryce Valley, Water Canyon. So yeah, here it is. For the Mustangs, Lopez had 19. Pirate had 18 with 3 threes. Perez had 16 with a 3. Moth had 14 with 2 threes. And Clay Gray had 10 with 2 threes. So they had 5 players in double digits, and between 4 of them, there was 8 threes.
Wow.
So pretty good. I like I said, I just kind of put all of those guys in for my top performances a week because I feel like that's a pretty good team effort. I don't have anything as far as rebounds or anything go on that. It's not on Des News, and they don't have their stats in Max Prep. So all we have on that one is the scoring. The other game that day was the one that we already covered. Valley beat Wayne 59-56. And then on Thursday, there was only one game. Green River beat Whitehorse 68-50. In that game, let's see, for the Pirates, Jason Hernandez had 33. He had 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals.
Yeah, he had a heck of a game.
And then Rolando, I got the little breakdown of his last name from Coach Parsons, and I hope I say it right. Anguiano. Rolando Anguiano. He had 8 points with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. So he didn't score a lot, but he still had...
But, he's doing everything that a good ball player does.
Yeah, pretty good game. And then David Mendez had 18 with 7 rebounds, 4 steals. So he had a good game as well.
Sounded like, the Pirates, every one of them, they're just clicking.
Well, and Hernandez from the 3-point line shot 7 for 11. So 7 threes in that game.
With a good shooting percentage.
And there's another game that Green River played. I don't remember which one it was. Parsons emailed me about that too, but Hernandez had 10 assists, and I thought that was pretty dang cool because, in fact, when I replied to him, I said, that's one of my favorite things about basketball is the assist column because I love watching a player when they can see the floor. And, once in a while when they'll put that pass where it's just threading the needle, put it right. I love a good pass. I'm talking not just your good chest, but I'm talking a good where it's like, how did he pull that off? I love that. So that I can't remember which game that was, and we might come across it here, but yeah. So Friday there was Paiute beat Wendover. I don't think I had stats on that one in Max Prep. White Horse beat Pinnacle. The Paiute Wendover 85-29. Whitehorse beat Pinnacle 67-56. Rich beat Altamont 70-43. Rich's stats, I believe, go in Des News. I don't know if you want to maybe find that while I go over a few more of these scores. Manila beat Little Snake River 61-57. Tinnick beat St. Joe 63-50. I think Tinnick's stats are also on Des News. And then Bryce Valley lost to Beaver 68-49. Valley beat Water Canyon 72-51. Los played UMAHF, but there is no score, so I'm not sure who won that game. And then the other game, which we already covered, Wayne beat Penguich 49-42. And then on Saturday, the Rich Rebels beat Cokeville 72-49. Green River beat Monticello 78-50. That might be the game that Parsons told me where he had 10 assists. Let me click on that real quick. Okay, so on Des News, it's actually showing 11 assists. He had 26 points and 11 assists, 4 steals, 5 rebounds. Rolando played a little better in that game on the scoring end. He had 20, 3 rebounds. He also had 8 assists. I missed that one when I read the email. So both of those two, 19 assists between two kids.
Wow.
That's pretty good. They had a total of 25 assists for the teams. And then Escalante, he had 11 points with 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Monticello, I think their stats are also on Des News. And then Tinnick beat Wendover 54-17, and Manila beat Tabiona 54-46. So back to Friday, did you find...
Yeah, so, in the Rich and Altamont game, Carter Scott had 19 with 3 three-pointers. Lundgren, only 13 points for him. Weston with 12. Nilsson, 9. Fonsback, 4. Perry, 3. Grill, 3. Wazen, 3. So, a lot of scoring in that game. For the Longhorns, too, he had 14 points. Wall had 9. Whiting with 7. Jessen with 6. Sorensen with 5 and Peck with 2. So
of Whiting's 7, did he hit any threes?
1 3-pointer.
Okay, because he's a pretty good shooter. I only watched him once when they came up here, but I could tell that he's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, and on Des News, there's no rebounds for that game, but it looked like a good game for Carter Scott. So,
well, that covers the boys for the week. So we'll jump over to the girls. Let me go back here to the first of the week. Maybe. Okay, so we'll start, there were no games on Monday, so we'll go to Tuesday. Monticello lost to Dove Creek, 44-36. Whitehorse lost to San Juan, 69-67, so that was looks like probably a pretty good game. Water Canyon lost to El Capitan, 58-30. Escalante beat Bryce Valley, 52-27. I believe that was one of my top performers of the week. Freet, I'm not sure how you say her name. It says Riley on here. She had 18 points in that game.
Good game for her, though.
Yeah, 2 threes. She had 6 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals. Haley Carlisle for the Mokies, she had 16 points, 4 rebounds. They're the only 2 that were in double figures for Escalante. Bryce Valley... So many different screens here. Their leading scorer looks like was Vasquez at 9. She had 4 rebounds. Ecom had 8 points with 7 rebounds. Pirate, that looks like it's spelled different, but it can't be. Anyway, 6 points, 7 rebounds. So they didn't have any girls in double figures, but the final score on that was 52-27. So going back to the scoreboard, Valley beat Parowan 60-15. I might have had one in that one too. Yeah, Maddie Cox had a pretty good game for Valley. I must have got that off of Des News.
Yeah, it's tough having to switch back and forth with a lot of these teams.
Well, Dal, it's just a good thing we're not professionals, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure
we need that as our motto.
I'm sure glad that you guys stick with us and continue to follow us, even though we're kind of a little scattered sometimes.
Well, and we've been really busy this week trying to get our new studio built, and we actually just came in from doing that, and man, it is cold today.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it's...
But yeah, we are looking forward to getting the studio done so we can get some of the, the hometown Taviona Tigers in to have a few interviews with them. Because I actually had a couple people ask me, like, why are we not doing that? Well, our reason being is because, as much as we love everyone from Taviona, we just think you smashed up in between us would look a little silly. So when we get our studio built, we are definitely gonna get some of you
and if it's
Tigers in here.
If it's looking like we may not be able to get it to the point to where we can record in the studio before the season's over, we'll get with a few of them and send them the link like we did with Van Dyke and have them join us that way.
But we want to have them, personally with us, because why wouldn't we? Every one of the players, coaches live, 2 minutes away from us. So,
Dally, what? I don't think it's on here. What game was I just talking about that I was going to go look up?
I lost my train of thought.
It was Valley, because Maddie Cox had 15, but that is not showing up.
Yeah, trying to go back and forth.
Well, it's not even on Des News.
Oh, it's not?
No. So I don't know what else she had, but I know she did have 15 points with a couple of threes against Parowan. So, if I get back to the right screen here.
And like we said before, we don't edit nothing, so what you guys are hearing, you get what you get. We just hope we're making your drive or whatever you're doing pass by a little better. So
moving on to Wednesday the 21st, Monument Valley beat Grand County 60-45, and their leading scorer in that game was Dakota Cly. I think she might have been, so I had her on here for one of my top performances too. 25 points with a couple of threes, but I don't think it had anything else on here. I think they only put points. Oh no, they did put rebounds. Oh, that's Grand, my apologies. They did not. Monument Valley only put points in there, but Cly had 18. Ooh, I'm not sure how to say this. Atene maybe had 16. Isbah Hunt had 12. M. Black Mountain had 10, and Taylor Stanley had 4 for the Cougars in that game. Tinnick got them a win over St. Joe, 32-30. Their leading scorer, it looks like, was... Is this Tinnick? Yeah. Underwood had 8. Let's get down here to the rebound column so I can get both of them. Underwood had 8 with 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. The next scorer for them was Jordan Conder. She had 7 with 5 rebounds, 4 steals. Terry had 5. I don't see... I'm going to have to get with Camby. I don't remember her name, but she didn't play up here against Tabby, and I
believe that was Snell.
And she's not on here either.
Because at the first of the season, she was playing really good, but I don't know.
Well, I know she's a good shot blocker, too, so maybe she's dealing with an injury or something. We'll have to get with Coach Eva on that and see what's going on there. But
yeah, good win for Tinnick.
And then moving on to Thursday, Whitehorse girls beat Green River 59-19. Now, on this one, their leading scorer, who is also the leading scorer in the state for girls right now, Kiara Martin, she had 17, but she only had 1 3 in that game.
Wow.
Usually the bulk of her points are coming from 3, so she must have been getting to the hole a little bit, something like that, to get her 17. And then I think it's Kira Chi. She had 12. Let's see. With 3 rebounds to go along with that. Kiara Martin, she had 6 rebounds. Then we had Maria Yellowman had 9, and Hannah Clark had 8. That's kind of the top scorers for them in that game. Green River, their leading scorer was Quintana. She had 7. Bargain and Nelson both had 4, and then Meadows and Parsons both had 2. But I don't know if I said it. 59-19 was the final score on that one. And then Wendover played Lund, Nevada. This one had another one of my top performers for the week. Millie Hicks had a fantastic game. She had 27 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 steals, and 2 blocks.
Wow, she was all over the place.
Yeah, she covered some ground in that game. And like we said, when they came up here, she didn't play her normal game, I guess, which kind of credit the Tigers defense to that too. But I knew that she was better than what she played here in Tabby, so I'm not surprised to see that kind of game from her. The next leading scorer for Wendover was Natalie Alvarez with 15. She had 4 rebounds and 1 assist. The only 2 players for the Wildcats in double figures, or double digits, however you want to say that. Escalante lost to Water Canyon 55-54. Now I tried to go on that one just to kind of see who scored for Water Canyon, and I couldn't find any stats on either Max Prep or Des News, so we'd like to cover them a little, but if we don't have anything, that's basically all we can do is the score. So another game, which I think you already talked about this one, Panguitch and Paiute, or was
that was boys, but I did.
Okay.
I want to talk because that was kind of one of the games I kind of done a deep dive in. But yeah, Panguitch ended up getting them 52-47. Panguitch, like I said, it was a Region 20 game. Thanks to the strong second quarter, they outscored the Thunderbirds 16-6. Annie Yardley led the Bobcats with 14 points, while Tate Miller added 12 points, including 1 3-pointer for Paiute. Boston Randall and Kennedy King each scored 18 points, with King also sinking, a 3-pointer. So yeah, like I said last week, Paiute is clicking. They are one of those, if I was to say the radar right now, they're definitely that team. I feel like you cannot just think you're going to win, because they are clicking now. King has just been dominant every week. I mean, she's probably one in the future. We need to see if we can get a hold of her coach and see if we could get her mindset on things, because she's been putting up the numbers every week consistently. Mm-hmm. So
and Boston Randall and Kennedy King were 2 of my top performances of the week too, like you said, with both having 18 points.
Yeah, they just had a really good game, and it looked like that was an awesome game to watch. So I think we said that a few weeks ago, when these teams matched up again, it was going to be a completely different outcome. Mm-hmm. And it definitely was. It was very close.
Well, and Owens was pretty quiet that game for the Bobcats too. She only had 6.
Yeah.
With I think all 6 came from threes. Yeah, they did. So a little bit quieter for her, but Annie Yardley had the 14, but so did Tate Miller. She chipped in 14 for them as well. Hatch led the team, there was 2 of them. Katie Hatch and Elle Torgerson both had 9 rebounds for the Bobcats in that game. A couple of assists from a couple of players, a couple of rebounds, but yeah, like you said, we kind of knew that the second meeting would be a little closer than that first one, which was right around 20.
Right.
Was the point deficit in that one. Is that all you got on that game?
That was all I had on that game. The next game I had was Valley Buffaloes and the Milford Tigers. Okay,
let me cover this. Oh, well, we got to talk about that game too. So, yeah, we can start with Valley and Milford.
But, yeah, Valley got the Tigers 54-50, another Region 20 game. Andy Anderson, she led Valley with 18 points. Chloe Crofts 10 points, and Maddie Cox's 2 3-pointers. Jade McMullen, she was just awesome, scoring 26 points with a 3-pointer, while Dalton added 11 points. Valley, they built an early advantage. They maintained edge, and first and fourth quarters to secure that victory. So it was a really good game. And like I said, McMullen, she has just been playing so well as well.
Well, and I got a few more stats off the Max Prep. With her 26 points, she had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals.
Yeah, I really want to watch her play, because she's one that's also just really consistent with putting up high numbers as well. So, and like we said, when you start getting up into them higher 20s, poking on them 30-point games, like, you have to be a ball player that's taken a lot of time in the gym.
Yep.
So it was just impressive to see that 26 points. Like I said, Dalton had 11, Sedella had 6, Dalton had 6, and Cheney had 1. For the Buffaloes, Anderson 18, Crofts with 10, Jennings with 9, Cox with 8, Roundy with 3, Franklin 3, Brinkeroff with 2, and Roundy with 1. So,
well, and I have, back to Acacia Dalton with her 11 points. She also had 13 rebounds to go with that. So
yeah, so
she was in my top performers too because of the double-double with the 13 rebounds.
Yeah, and like I said, that's just impressive on a girl's end to see, someone get points but also get the rebounds to go with it. So,
but for Valley, I think who was there?
Anderson.
Oh, the other one.
Crofts.
No, let me see your list here. I just said her name. Oh, Maddie Cox. So they have Andy Anderson and Maddie Cox, and it seems like both of those two are very capable of putting up 20 points a game. So I think if both of those two could, it's hard to have two players 20 points a game, but I guess what I'm getting at is I can see, because it's usually one of them scores, the other one not so much, and then they'll flip the next game,
Yeah.
But I kind of can't help but wonder if they both got on to where they were just clicking and both getting around 20, I think that'd be a whole different look for that team,
Yeah.
But I think they both, they have two good players right there that they can kind of lean on to help them get some wins through the season. The other, did you say the score of that game? 54 to 50?
54 to 50,
okay.
Yeah.
So the other game we have that we're going to cover the same day, Wayne beat Bryce Valley 69 to 47. So I had a couple in here that for my top performances. So AJ Van Dyke had 19. She hit 3 threes. She had 6 rebounds, and she had 10 assists in that game.
Yeah, and like I said, she hit her 1,000-point game in that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
career.
But
1,000-point game. But the other stat, like I said earlier, 10 assists. I love to see the assists pile up from one player. In that game, Bree Torgerson had 15 points, and Lily Morrill had 13 with a 3, and she also had 8 rebounds. So they had 3 girls play really well in that game. Timber Wood, I didn't put her in my top performances, but she chipped in 11 points. And if I can get down here to this other column, it looks like she had a couple of rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals. And then Bryce Valley, they must be in I think I did put one of them down, though. Yeah, I did. Ana Lucia Lopez, I guess I'm saying that right. She had 18 points against Wayne, so she had a pretty good game as on the scoring end. That's all that I could find on there, so I don't know what she did in any of the other stat columns. But so that will wrap up Thursday. We'll move on to Friday for the girls. White Horse beat Pinnacle 61 to 16. And I wanted to look, Kiara Martin, she had 16 points in that game. 2 threes. So she's been a little quieter, and I've noticed her percentage has gone down a little. She was 2 for 8 in that one, and in the other game she was like about that, 1 for 7, 1 for 8, something like that. So not hitting as many threes as normal, but as well as I do, shooters go through slumps. You'll hit a time where you just struggle and you can't really get anything to fall, but it looks to me like where the threes are not falling as normal, she's figuring something else out to still get on the board, because she's still a little below her average. She's still hanging around that 30 for her average, but still able to score some points.
Well, and like we said, every coach is going to look at her and say, run her off the three-point line. So she's probably had to figure out, different routes to score the ball, and it
Absolutely.
looks like she is. So.
And it'll be that same way when it comes to the state tournament. Teams are going to try to run her off the three-point line for sure. The Rich Rebels beat Altamont 48 to 14. Molly Weston, she had 17 points in that game with 3 threes. Maddie White had 10. Did we already cover this game? Oh no, that was the Altamont game.
Yep.
Paige Smith had 10 with 2 threes. And then Pugmire, pretty slow, quiet night for her. She only had 5, but she did have 13 rebounds. So not a lot of scoring, but cleaning up the boards,
right,
as to be expected. She also had 4 assists to go along with that. Maddie White, with her 10 points, had 8 rebounds, and Molly Weston also had 7 rebounds with 2 assists and 2 steals. So kind of Paige Smith, it looks like she had 3 assists and 6 steals. But, Rich has always been that, their guards, they're really good at full court pressure defense and getting steals and playing the passing lane. So they had 13 steals in that game, which is pretty good in my opinion, for a single game. So
Right.
the next game, Manila's girls lost to Little Snake River 63-54. And then Escalante got them another win. They beat Monument Valley 51-50.
And like I said, we watched Monument Valley play our girls at that little Pinnacle tournament, and they're a decent ball team. So Escalante must be really figuring it out too.
Well, Whitehorse, Monument Valley, I don't remember your rankings, but at one time they were ranked 4th. I don't know where they're at now, but in that game for Escalante, Riley, I think it's Freight that we were talking about earlier, she had 23. Did I already say this? Did I already put her? No, that was the Bryce Valley game. So she had 2 good games in a row, because in this one she had 23. Only one rebound, but 23 points. Their next scorer was Cora Gardner. She had 12 with 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. Taylor Carlisle had 7 with 4 rebounds. Allison Holcomb only had 6 points, but she had 10 rebounds. So a little more scattered scoring from them, I guess you could say. But yeah, Riley Freight seems to be playing pretty good as of the last couple of games. Saturday, when I looked earlier, okay, so there are scores on here now. Tinnick, 2 wins in a row. They beat Wendover 43-25. See what happened in that game.
Yeah, because I don't think there was stats when we were looking earlier.
No, there wasn't.
So
it looks like... Oh, and Snell did play in this game. She's on the stat sheet here.
And, I think that's big for Tinnick, because I think she is a really, key player for them. So.
I agree. So, she... let's see, where did she go? Snell had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. Also with 10 points, Kaya Farr. She had 6 steals in that game. Man, this screen is a lot different. So Jordan Condor had 8. Underwood had 5. Despain had 4. Steinfeld had 3. Gout had 3. So a few different girls scoring for the Miners in that game. On the other side for Wendover, Millie Hicks only had 5 points in that game and 7 rebounds. Alvarez, 1 point. She only played 9 minutes. Millie Hicks only played 12 minutes. So it looks like maybe some of those younger girls getting a few more minutes, trying to get some experience on the floor, get a little playing time.
Right.
But their leading scorer was Eliza Gonzalez with 9 points. And then Carly Robles, I can't remember how we said that. I asked the coach, now I think it's Robles, 5 points. Yeah, that pretty much rounds out their scoring. And then Paiute beat Monument Valley. So Monument Valley maybe not playing as strong. I don't have the record here. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it either. 10-6.
Yeah.
And Paiute 10-7. So record-wise, they're pretty much right there. But I think all those stats are on Des News, and I don't have those here.
And I don't think. It seemed like I looked and I couldn't find them. So.
And then Rich lost to Cokeville 54-63. There is no score posted for Monticello and Green River. Escalante with another win. Let's check in here and see what Riley did in that game. Another great game. She had 28 points in that one with 3 threes.
She is just rolling. She's having a good start to the year.
And Allison Holcomb had 9 points with 11 rebounds. Taylor Carlisle, 13 points with 10 rebounds, so a double-double for her. Cora Gardner had 7. Let's see, I mentioned her. Amory, I think it is. Jenkins had 4. Maddie Nilsson 2. Fanny Orvin 2. But yeah, Riley seems to be clicking right now. Maybe have things going on the offensive end to help them continue this season and try to get a few more wins. I don't have their record here. I don't know why sometimes it says the record and sometimes it doesn't. But I'll move on while you look that up, because I'm curious to see where they're at in their record now.
On the girls and Escalante, well, they're ranked 11 in the RPI, but the way they're playing, they might be moving their way on up.
So that's changed too then, because here on Max Prep it's still saying 12. But moving on, the game we covered, Tabiona beat Manila 50-40. I'm really going to have to Get after Shani on that one. And then Valley beat Bryce Valley. Let's click in here. Oh, they're on Des News, I think. I was just curious to see because we just got done talking about Maddie Cox and Andy Anderson.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of good games. A lot of things, like I said, teams are starting to click a little more than they was at the first of the season. So, I mean, the state tournament, it's going to be fun, I tell you.
I think so.
And, it's going to be coming faster than we think because, I mean, we got, another month? And it's going to be state tournament time and, then we're going to be kind of lost what to do with our podcast. A lot of people's been asking us, what are you going to do after? We're not quite sure at the moment. We've been thinking about maybe obviously trying to follow the track and different things, but we might even roll in and cover a little bit of softball and baseball for maybe 2A.
Well, and I know for me, I love the MLB, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. There's actually been some pretty big re-signs.
But yeah, for those of you that listen and have been wondering kind of what we're going to do, we're going to try and still keep rolling, till the end of the year. Obviously, when summertime comes, we're probably going to have to just shut her down till maybe the volleyball season and different things start back up again.
And listen, we don't know a lot about some of these other. I mean, I know baseball. I grew up playing baseball. I've always liked baseball, so I understand that game pretty well. But volleyball, we might try to, if nothing else, we can at least follow the scores and kind of let you know who's where. But I don't know a whole lot about volleyball. I think maybe you should, with your wife being the head coach. Maybe you can sit down and pick her brain a little bit. But we'll try to do something, and we'll kind of make that a little more certain and obvious what we're going to do at the end of the season. But
yeah, for those of you that are wondering and asking us, even we're not sure quite yet because we love basketball, and obviously we are going to try and do this for years and years to come. So
as long as you guys continue your interest in it and we keep hearing that people want us to keep doing it, so as long as that sticks around, we plan on doing this for until we can't talk anymore.
Yeah,
so
probably. So
and on that Bryce Valley, to get back to where we were, that Bryce Valley, there are no stats, so we'll have to kind of look at that one when we do next week because I am kind of curious just to see where those two have kind of been flip-flopping on leading scorers. But that's going to cover all the games that were played this last week. I don't know. Do you want to look on to the next week just to kind of see what the schedule is?
I can pull up the schedule here really quick.
I
will start with the boys first.
Okay, I'll go to the girls while you're doing that.
On Monday, Mount Vernon plays Utah Military Academy. On Tuesday, you got Dugway playing the Utah School for Deaf and Blind. Salt Lake Academy will play Tinnick. White Horse will play Monticello. Kanab will play Panguage. So,
that'll be a good one.
Kanab, they're top dogs this year. So, if Panguage can play with them, it'll go to show you what 1A is compared to 2A. Monument Valley will play Shiprock. Mazer Prep Academy will play St. Joe. On Wednesday, Telos will play Mount Vernon. Pinnacle will play Green River. Water Canyon will play Wayne. On Thursday, School of Deaf and Blind will play Washington School for the Deaf and Blind will play Utah's School for the Deaf and Blind. Phoenix Day School for the Deaf will play Utah School for the Deaf and Blind. So looks like some out of state's some out of state deaf and blind teams are gonna come play Utah's deaf and blind team. Monument Valley will play Rough Rock. Panguage will play Bryce Valley, which that could be a very good game as well. Valley will play Paiute, which we know that will probably be a really good game too. Milford and Escalante, Wayne and St. Joe, Big Piney and Rich. I feel like Rich has played Big Piney quite a bit.
It seems like it.
I guess boys and girls. Friday, you got Tinnick going to play Manila. which Tinnick got Manila at the first.
Where's that?
Seen it.
That one will be in Manila.
Yeah.
That'll be a good game, I think.
I think it'll be a really good game. Wayne will play Wendover. Altamont will play St. Joe. Monticello will play Valley. Rich, obviously, at Tabiona, Water Canyon, and Milford. And then on Saturday, you've got Monticello and Escalante, Tabiona and Wendover, Tinnick and Rich.
We go to Wendover this coming
Yes.
Saturday?
Yep.
Well, we got to get our room scheduled then.
I would love to make it, but unfortunately, I can't make it this time.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, Tinnick will play Rich, Millard will play Paiute, Altamont will play Manila. So that's your boys' schedule for the coming week.
All right, moving on to the girls. Monday the 26th, there's only one game. St. Joe will play Providence Hall. Tuesday, Whitehorse will play Monticello. Monument Valley and San Juan. Panguitch will play Beaver. On Wednesday, Pinnacle will play Green River, Bryce Valley and Milford. Water Canyon and Paiute, Panguitch and Valley. Thursday, Utah. So the Washington School for the Deaf and the Blind, it looks like boys and girls are going to come and play that one too. So Wayne will play St. Joe, and same with Rich. Their girls will also play Big Piney on Thursday. Friday, Altamont will play St. Joe. Wayne will go to Wendover. Monument Valley at Bryce Valley. Rich at Tabiona. Monticello at Valley. Whitehorse at Many Farms. First time I've seen that name this year. Tinnick at Manila. So boys and girls trip on that one, it sounds like. And then Milford at Paiute. And then on Saturday, if it'll load, Saturday Monticello will go to Escalante, Monument Valley to Valley. Tabiona will go to Wendover. Tinnick will go to Rich. And Altamont will go to Manila. So I'm kind of curious because on Friday,
What is it?
oh, maybe it wasn't. Oh, yeah, Wayne goes to Wendover. I'm just kind of surprised they don't have... Oh, they do. Thursday they'll play St. Joe. And I was going to say, that's a long trip for just one game, but
Right.
I guess I forgot that they had the Thursday one as well.
So yeah, some pretty good games. Like I said, we're kind of into region play a little more now, so it's really interesting to just kind of see how the things are playing out. And then obviously, you know, the southern region going to have their region tournament, I believe, still. So going to be very interesting to watch that. But yeah, you know, basketball, we're kind of on the down stretch now.
It's kind of a little sad. We were talking about it at our junior high practice the other day. It's kind of crazy how close we are to being done for the year.
But I guess with that, we can maybe roll to a memory on the hardwood. You guys, you need to send us some more memories. You know, we didn't have any come in this week, so looks like we're gonna think of our own. And so for mine, you know, obviously talking with my buddy Jake Freestone, like I said, we play a lot of church ball and stuff together, and, you know, I was asking him about the Duncan family because when I was in junior high, I remember Dallin Duncan, and Jake said that his families are really close with him. But I just remember a game. I believe I was either 7th or 8th grader. I don't fully remember. But I remember Dallin Duncan and the Monticello going at it against the Rich Rebels. I believe it was a quarter finals game. I don't think it was a semifinals game. I think it was the game before that. But I remember it was a battle between Duncan and I believe it was Calder. Just like I said, going at it. I believe it went into overtime, possibly double overtime. But I remember the play that kind of sealed the deal for Rich is Calder ended up shooting a really deep three, and it was nothing but net, and I think that just kind of sealed the game for him. But that's kind of a memory I have of when, you know, watching those players, like we were saying, that you kind of just look up to a little bit because they just, in your mind, when you're a junior high player, they just look so good. So I remember that game very well. But yeah, it's just cool to talk with, you know, like I said, my buddy Jake from Monticello, and, you know, him remembering Dallin Duncan playing, because I just remember him just being such a good ball player. And like I said, same thing with Caden Calder. They're just so good.
Well, and at that age, as a junior high kid, that memory in particular, when he hit that three, as a kid, you go nuts. It doesn't matter who they're playing for. When you see something like that, it's really cool. And
especially at the state tournament, it was just like, man,
Well, and you yourself, you kind of had an all-around game, but you were a shooter as well, So being junior high, knowing that you're working on your three-point shot and everything else, I'm sure that was even sweeter to see somebody pull up like that and kind of seal the deal for him to win the game. So that's pretty cool. Is that all you got on yours?
Yeah, that was all I had.
I don't know what to do on mine because I have a lot of memories, and a lot of times the same ones pop up, so they must have been pretty key memories for me. But I guess I could just kind of talk about the state tournament when I was a senior. There were, I think one of my memories earlier, the team that was picked to win was Layton Christian, which we took care of them in the quarterfinals. But in the semifinals the next day, we had Panguitch. And I don't remember many of their players, but I do remember Tyler Barney, who I actually kind of became friends with after school. He was on my all-star team with me, so we hung out and, talked during that game too. But in that semifinal game, it was a good game, all the way through. And I remember one shot in particular, we had a play we ran called Black, where I would set a down screen for Jay and then come up and get a double screen at the top of the key. And I shot the three, and it hit the back of the iron, and it bounced so high the ball left the camera, but it come back down and went right through the hoop. But I remember when I shot it, and it hit the rim, I thought, oh crap, because I didn't think there was any way it was going in. And then it falls straight down, and I remember looking over at the bench like, I don't know, I guess we'll take it. But later in the game, I don't remember time or anything like that, but I know it was later in the game, and like I said, it was a close game. And I was about the three-point line with Barney, and I don't remember what happened, but Coach Barney got a tee. He was upset about something, maybe a missed call or something, and he ended up getting a technical. And we had Jordan Leffler. He went and shot the tee for us, and as he was shooting, me and Tyler Barney were at half court and just kind of talking, and kind of like, man, this is a dog fight, and he's like, gosh, that tee probably just cost us a game. He says, you guys are going to get us now. And I'm like, don't give up too soon, like we were both saying this game could go either direction. And
right.
And I really liked Tyler. He was a good dude. I'm sure he still is. I haven't talked to him in years, but that's one game that sticks out to me. Just a good, hard fought, state tournament semifinal game. We ended up getting the win. Moved on to the championship, where unfortunately we lost to Manila. I probably won't really put that game in my memories because that's not one I like to think about. But,
right.
But yeah, as Dally mentioned, guys, don't be afraid to send us some memories. We know a lot of you people, you've got to have. What'd you find there, bud?
So I was curious. My memory is not. It's spot on with how I remember, but it went into double overtime. Rich won 59-56, and Caden Calder had 39 points in that game. 39. So my memories there,
how many threes did he hit?
He had 4 3-pointers, and I remember that last one was what put them
so
ahead.
He had 4 threes. So that means only 12 of his 39 was. So that dude, but I remember watching him a little bit.
Just insane.
Dude, he had a turnaround fadeaway jumper that you couldn't touch.
And like I said, I look back, here's Dallin Duncan. He finished the game with 19 points. So the two players I remember as a, that was in 2011. So I would have been an 8th grader, I believe. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy that my 8th grade mind remembered that game so well, but there's a reason why, because right there shows that Caden Calder had 39 points and Duncan had 19.
We've mentioned before, we've mentioned before on this show that when you have a player score that many points, it's going to be hard to beat them. Unless, if Dalton, on the other hand, unless he would have had 39-ish, then it might have been, but when there's one player from one team that scores that many, they're going to be tough to beat on that particular night.
But yeah, so when I pulled up the stats, I was just like, yep, that's why I remember it. So I don't know if Caden Calder even, I know he don't know me, but if he ever does listen to this podcast, I hope he realizes how good of a player he was, because even the young Taviona guys remember him. So,
well, Bradley, I know you listen. When you hear this, if you have contact with him, let him know that he's a legend in Dally DeFay's mind. So,
yep, he is. So,
and like I was saying, back to the memories. There's a couple people. I thought about it before and I didn't, but I'm gonna call him out now. So if they listen, Levi Gines, I know he has told his sister that he's like, well, I have a memory, but I don't want to feel like I'm bragging, And I told her, I says, it don't matter if you're bragging or not. We just want a memory to read, So Levi, if you hear this, man up, dude. Send us that memory so we can read it. And any of you other guys, we encourage you to. It's a lot of fun for us to read someone else's memories. I mean, I'm sure Dally and I could sit here and come up with memories of our own, tons of them. But it's a lot of fun to see what you guys have and experiences and games that stick out in your mind and players or whatever, So yeah, send them over. That email is the GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com. I do want to say thank you to Coach Parsons again. He's been in contact with us, email sending us, keeping us up to date on certain things with them, and so thank you to that. Thank you for your support, and everybody else that listens. We appreciate it, and we're gonna keep on rolling. And we are going to just some of you may be curious. I don't know, maybe you're not, but at the state tournament, we are gonna do this show. We're just gonna do. It won't be quite this lengthy. But we're going to cover, after the games each night, we'll kind of sit down and go over them and just kind of keep everybody maybe that can't make it to the tournament, keep them up to speed on what's happening there. So we look forward to doing that. And I would also like to, as we mentioned with Van Dyke, if times align, obviously we don't want to interfere with what they've got going on. State's busy. They've got other important things to worry about. But I wouldn't mind finding a couple of these players and coaches and, just even 10 minutes sitting down, just talking to them and seeing kind of their thoughts on the tournament or whatever. So we'll look to try to do something like that. But just so you guys do know, we will be doing each night of the tournament. So we look forward to that. And until then, I guess we'll get out of here and come back next week.
So we just want to say thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.